Good morning, Sarah here. How are you all doing? I thought I would do a quick video today just to show you my method of oiling my drums. You know, especially with this hot weather, the skins on the drums are going to dry out really quickly, and although I keep mine on the stairs, which is kind of in the winter the warmest place, but in the summer the coolest place, the air is very dry at the moment, so the skins are going to dry out and crack. So what I like to do is to use some organic coconut oil and give them all a good oiling. Now I've got to show you my collection of drums here. I've got 15 drums here of all different sizes, different hides. I've got buffalo hide, I've got goat hide, I've got deer hide, and various different types of deer: red deer, roe deer, and fallow deer. And yeah, some of them I've painted, some of them I haven't painted, but they all need a good oiling. And I tend to do it a couple of times a year, I suppose. But I was playing them, you know, some of them the other day, and they were the tone was really high pitched, meaning that the skins are very, very tight. Normally they're kind of a medium tone, not a dull tone, because that means they've got too much water in them, and not a really high pitched tone because that means they're too dry. But they should be somewhere in the middle. And they're all really tight at the moment. All the moisture's gone out of them. So now is a good time, if you have skin hides, rawhide, to give them an oiling. And this particular drum, which I've probably highlighted before, has got some splits in it already. And this is from the hide itself was really thin in places on this particular area, and when it dries out, or when it did dry out initially, it split. But a lot of people would discard the drum at this point and put another hide on the hoop, but I love this little drum and it makes a really lovely sound, and I don't want to change it. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of oiling it and hope that this doesn't actually pull through. And actually, if it does pull through, the others will still keep the skin in place, so it's not going to ping off or anything. And you know, you just go on to use a drum until it doesn't make a sound anymore. And it means a lot to me, this little drum. It's my travelling drum on a willow hoop, deer hide, red deer hide on a little hoop. So I've already given that a good oil, and this is my drum that I made on the winter solstice last year, on the new moon and the winter solstice, and it has this beautifully dark hide to it, and I'm not quite sure how that happened. It was kind of serendipitous, because it's a roe deer hide, and before I made it, the hide was the same colour as this. But what I did was I soaked the hide in rainwater out of my water butt, and it changed the hide to this colour. And I don't know what's I was thinking, what is in the rain that made the change to the colour of the skin? And I haven't actually done it again, and I might, because I've got some skin to use up. I might actually make another one and try it again and see whether it is the rainwater or whether it was a combination of the lime that was used to strip the hide of its hair and that kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway, I love it because I made it on the new moon, so it turned out as a dark skin hide, which was lovely, a lovely kind of synchronicity. So this is double-sided drum, as you can see, and it's got lacing down out in the middle of the hoop, and you can't really see much of the hoop, but it's a glorious dark red oak hoop. And there was a reason I chose that as well, which I think I've done a video about this drum before. So I would get the oil on my hands. Now I tend to use probably, you don't want too much. It's kind of like it's a bit gloopy now because it's wet. Oops. So kind of that kind of amount, and then rub it in your hands like you would a hand cream, and then just rub it all over. And if you've got a double-sided drum, taking real care to absolutely work in the oil into these lacings, because they do get very tight, and they can break if there are very thin bits of the hide. They will snap, and around the handle and any bits that are hanging off, and especially around the rim here, because you can probably see where it's pulled really tightly on there. Luckily this hide is good and strong. And I've also got marks, scratches where thorns have scratched the deer, and also tick bites or tick marks. So I work in, extra oil into those places just to make sure it's all covered. Now you don't want it too oily, because it'll take a long time for the skin to absorb that, and if you're using your drum, then it might take a couple of weeks for it to get its tone back again. So you don't want it too much. The amount that you would put on to make your hands, if you're using hand cream, so you don't want to be left with really greasy hands at the end of the time, but you also want it to do its job of working into the skin. So I spend a little bit of time on each one as I'm going through. So even say on this drum, which is a buffalo hide, just single-sided buffalo hide drum, I would, getting a bit of oil on my hands, I would work each of these really taut lacings, because you can hear they're kind of really dry. So I'll work probably quite a lot of the oil into these and around the edges. So that's how I do that one. And if you wanted to, you could, if you can reach the hoop, maybe use a paintbrush or something to just paint the oil onto the actual hoop itself, because that, all helps. And if you can get your hand on the inside, that will help with the absorption on both sides of the drum. Obviously you can't do that if it's a double-sided drum, but yeah. So that will keep me busy for a little while today. And yeah, because I've got 15 today on my lovely drums. I don't really need all these drums, but hey ho. If anybody wanted to buy a drum, I have a few that, probably 5 or 6 that I would let go, that I haven't actually painted or anything. Like this is a buffalo sort of oval type drum. Quite a simple, so you can paint it yourself or whatever, and I'd probably sell something like that for, I don't know, 100 quid plus post and packing. Okay, so happy oiling of your drums, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Ciao for now.